Hey, what's up, y'all? Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you how I achieved this shadowy fall makeup inspired look. My husband surprised me recently with this really cute Salt N Pepa eyeshadow palette, and I wanted to hop on here and just film the first look for you guys and kind of walk you through a very detailed tutorial of how I achieved this look. If you're interested in some new techniques and tricks, keep watching. Starting off with a nice clean base, I am using the L'Oreal Infallible More Than Concealer in shade Amber. This is one of my all-time favorite concealers. I've been using this one for a while. I've used this to clean underneath my brows, and I'm also going to use it as a base for my shadows as well. Next, I'm taking a cream matte eyeshadow shade from my Juvia's Place, the Nomad eyeshadow palette. I'm sweeping that across the entire eye to, number one, set the concealer, and number two, create a nice clean base for my eyeshadows. Next, I'm going to take this deep matte warm brown and I'm going to work it from the outer corner into my crease. And I chose this random brush. It's the Urban Decay dual-ended brush from one of their eyeshadow palettes. I do like to use this brush from time to time to just press where I want the shadows to be, and then I go back in with this buffing eyeshadow brush from Pretty Girls brushes to buff out that harsh line. Next, I'm going back to the Nomad palette by Juvia's Place for this perfect burnt orange matte eyeshadow for my transition upper crease. For my favorite part of this tutorial, y'all, the very necessary eyeshadow palette with Salt N Pepa and Milani Cosmetics. It is absolutely gorgeous in person. I'm using the shade Groove Me along my lid. I'm going to be using a total of 3 shades from this palette for this particular look. But shout out to my husband. He picked this up for me randomly as a random surprise on the way home from CVS. So if you have been thinking about this palette, or this one kind of left your mind a little bit, head up there to CVS, Walgreens, and check this palette out. I'm going to prep my inner corner with NYX Cosmetics Glitter Glue for the most intense inner corner shimmer ever. The shade I'm going to be using from the Very Necessary palette, this really gorgeous gold metallic shade, Break of Dawn. I'm going to be using that all along the inner corner, and I'm going to spread it out a little bit towards the lid. That's what I like doing these days. I don't like to just focus it right in that little corner. I kind of like to spread it outwards towards the lid to kind of create a nice shadowy, glittery shimmer. So this is kind of the last step of the eyes before I kind of pause and start the face, and then I'll end up coming back to the eyes to add more detail, because all of the detail that I would put into it right now would just get swept away into the powders of the foundation and everything. So I typically just get to this part where I do the liner and set the liner, and then I'll break away, do the foundations, and come back to that. I'm using the L'Oreal Lacquer liner in Blackest Black. That's the gel liner I'm using. I'm also going to set this gel liner with the last shade I'm going to be using from this very necessary eyeshadow and highlighter palette. The shade I'm going to be using to set this eyeliner, and I'm also using it to deepen the crease as well. It's called Somebody's Gettin On My Nerves. Now this shade is really interesting because I thought it was a matte black eyeshadow at first, but the more and more I worked with it, and when I saw it in the daylight, I noticed that it's a really deep dark navy blue, which is even better because I love deep, dark navy blues with looks like this. They really add to the color story, and I didn't even notice it until I came back to watch what I filmed. So that's just another reason to go get this palette. It's really, really, really cool. We are moving on to the face, and I am adding a little bit of color correction with the NYX Contour Conceal Correct. I'm not sure in which orders those 3 C's go, but that is the palette I'm using. I'm using the shade, the deepest in that line, the deepest palette in that line, and I'm using that orange as a corrector. I don't know, I just recently started doing this probably about 6 to 8 months ago, and I've really been loving the results of just having that little bit of correction under there. Sometimes I also use the LA Girl Cosmetics Pro Conceal, the orange one, but that one is just a tad too orange for me. Yeah. For foundation, I'm going to use the Kiss NY Pro Matte BB Cream High Coverage Foundation. I'm using 2 shades in Toffee and in Cappuccino. I'm going to be using my favorite brush for foundation. It's the Sigma F50 Dual Fiber brush. I've been using this brush for years now. The Sigma brushes are really, really great quality. I haven't had a single hair come out of this brush. Worth every single dime, and I just love the way my foundation looks when I use this brush. You can also use it for cream, powder, just contour, you name it. I use this brush quite a lot. And when I do my foundation, I like to make sure I'm not just getting all over the face and the neck. I'm also blending behind my ears as well. As you can see, I'm kind of turning off to the side and making sure I'm getting the back of the ears and down the neck. That is really, really important. For concealer, we're going back to my holy grail, the L'Oreal Infallible More Than Concealer in shade Amber. I mean, y'all might as well call me the drugstore queen at this point, because I'm telling you, I know how to work some drugstore makeup, and this is one of my favorite products. I just keep buying over and over, and I have multiple of these shades. As a makeup artist, I can't afford to buy, you know, every last matte concealer, every last Tarte shape concealer. So I am always on a hunt for a really good, inexpensive concealer. And let me tell y'all, I've been searching and searching, and this one is it. The shade range of this line is also really impressive. That's one of the main things that keeps me coming back to L'Oreal in this line in particular, because L'Oreal really knows how to really deepen those shades. So between this and Maybelline, that's it. That's all I use, y'all. Love it. This beauty blender you can find in my Amazon shop. I have the link to that in the description, but this one is, I'm not sure of the name. I always get it wrong. I think it's called Aesthetica. I think that's what the brand is called on Amazon, and they make a ton of like really inexpensive makeup products, and I keep buying this beauty blender every year. It's really, really good. And here really quick is another reason why I love this Sigma Duo Fiber brush. I love the way I can just blend and buff out any harsh lines of concealer or contour for that ultimate flawless look. For the concealer on my nose here, I'm going to use the Luxie Beauty Angled Eyeshadow Brush. I love using this brush for my contour on my nose. I don't use it for pretty much anything else but this. For contour, I'm going to be using the ColourPop Cosmetics No Filter Foundation Stick in 197W Deep Dark. It is taking me forever to use this foundation stick. And I say foundation stick because that is exactly what it is. I just use it as a contour stick. I have quite a few of these, and I also use one to cut my contour as well. The brush I'm using to blend this contour, by the way, is from BH Cosmetics. I've had this set for the last 5 years. It's a really old brush set, but if you're interested in knowing exactly what I'm using to blend this contour, I use this one quite a lot. BH Cosmetics. Going back in with that Luxie Beauty Angled Shadow Brush to finish off the contour. I like to start with my upper lip, blending that, and then blending upwards along the contour of the nose. I'm taking another foundation stick from ColourPop Cosmetics. I believe this one is the shade 161 Neutral, and I only use this foundation stick for that, what you just saw, just cutting the contour. So this is another one that's going to take me forever to get through, specifically because that's all I use these for. I do not use these for actual foundation. I like liquid foundations more, and for the days I'm not wearing any makeup, I just don't wear any makeup. I know this is so extra, but I do like to add just a tad bit more concealer along my nose where I lost that contour from blending. I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit more concealer under my eyes from Wet n Wild, their Photo Focus Concealer in Medium Tawny. I'm going to be using the Midnight Luxury Banana Powder to bake with today. It is my all-time favorite. Every time I feel myself going off and trying something else, I'm always on Camera Ready Cosmetics.com buying this at least every 3 to 6 months. Now I'm back with the Sigma F50. Now I'm using it for powder, and I'm going to be using it to blend this bake, and I'm going to use it for some of the foundation powders too. For my foundation powder, I'm going to be switching up the routine just a little bit. I'm going to be using the Matte Fit Me Matte Plus Poreless powders. I typically use the shades 320, 334, and 355. For this look, I'm going to be mainly using the two shades 334 and 355. Here, I'm starting with 355. I went a little crazy with the baking and concealer, so it kind of brightened my face a little bit too much, and that happens. And when that does happen, I will go for the darker shade first and then cut the contour with the lighter shade 334 Warm Sun. Powder contour, I'm going to be using the ColourPop Cosmetics No Filter Sheer Pressed Powder in Deep Dark. I don't get a chance to use this really on my clients. It's a bit too ashy for them, but I love it for me as a contour. So instead of wasting it, that's what I turned it into. For blush, I recently picked these up at Ulta Beauty, the J-Cat Beauty Blush Mallow Soft Blusher. It's a cream blusher, and I bought about 4 of these, and I think they're freaking gorgeous. This shade is in Berries and Cream. Alright, so I'm finishing this look off with going back to the detail of the eyes. I have not added the highlighter, lashes, lips. Right before I do that, I want to go back and finish up the detail of the eyes first. So that involves deepening the crease, adding those shimmer shades back onto the lid and inner corner, and adding some smudge smokiness to the lower lash line. Here we are with the finishing look. I filmed the lips, both this color, the deep burgundy, and the nude lip for my stories. So if you're interested in seeing a tutorial for the lips, you can head over to my Instagram and check the stories or my Reels content for the complete breakdown of the details of every product used. You can head over to my blog, www.GlamStylistxoxo.com. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's tutorial. Make sure you like and subscribe, share, and I'll be back for my next video. Thanks for watching. See you soon.